How close are we to seeing no work, only UBI, meaning universal basic income, and the fact that we rely on the government for every need? We're within 5 years, some economists and some technologists are saying. They're saying AI robots will take jobs and will make for humans not to work. Now, for some people, they're saying, well, that might be a good thing. It allows us to have more time. The question is, how are you going to make money? With the cost of goods going up, what are we to do? So if you had 5 years, what are your plans right now? We're going to discuss that today. Also, we're going to talk about the persecution of the church and how important it is to have strong men stand up, because we are lacking that. We're not lacking just people talking. We're not lacking opinions. We're lacking true conservative Christian men. I'm going to talk about that in some of the stories, because what we're seeing is the breakdown of our cities. If you are living in cities, I want you to pay attention to this story, pay attention to this video, because it's so important. You're seeing the actual conservative person. They're saying, please stay out of these areas. If you're a white conservative, stay out of these areas because it may be dangerous for you. Is this what we want in America? These kind of cities? You think it's going to get better under different leadership? No, it's probably going to get a lot worse. Let's dive into these stories today, because all of them are pertinent to you. If you only had 5 years, if you're a Christian conservative, if you're just conservative, what does this look like over the next coming years? Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember to check out my other channel, Life with Colby Mack. We have a vlog going out today, so make sure you check that out as well. Now let's dive into these stories. First, I want to talk about this new AI robotics push. Now this is something that's been going on for a while now, but I want to go to this statement. This is made by Mr. Patterson, who is a technologist economist, and he says, by 2030, AI and robots will replace all human jobs. Everyone will receive free money from the government, which will be worth 10 times more than the average salary today. Work will not exist, money will be meaningless, and we will value love, service, and others above all. Now, I want you to understand something. That sounds great, doesn't it? In a perfect utopian world, that sounds amazing, that we will not have to work. Yesterday I worked from 4 a.m. and I got in about 8:30 last night. It's a long day. So if you're going to tell me a robot's going to do it all for me and I'm going to have tons of money and everything's going to be great and I'm just going to spend time with my family, that sounds like a utopia. Complete perfection. Now the question is, where does men play into this? Where does sin play in this? Where does the fallout play in this? Where does evil play into this? What plays all in it? Because what we're actually seeing is not that world. We're seeing the fact that AI and robots will take over. He's correct there. He is correct that it's taking jobs. It said within 3 years, tons of truck drivers will be replaced with this. You know those people that are pushing for flat pay and minimum wage pay at Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King for 15, 20, 25, even New York City is now saying $30 an hour. What's going to happen is it's going to take one restaurant, one chain, one McDonald's, one Burger King who's willing to say, look, we're just going to put full robotics and kiosk in there. They've already got the technology. There's already a few of these out, but there's going to be one or two of them that's going to embrace it. When they embrace it, the time of people flipping burgers for $15, $20, $30 an hour will be no more. Job's gone. The working class will not be anymore. So a few things I want to tell you first off that you have to do. How can you stop this from happening? You can't. But here's what you can do. Number one, you have to have a skills job. You have to learn skills. Think back in the Depression era. Who actually did not feel the Depression era problems? Usually the people that had skilled labor that could barter their way out of problems. People who could work on things. So welders, plumbers, electricians, those kind of people, even down to some engineers, some of the mechanical engineers will probably be okay. But when it comes to technology, when it comes to white collar jobs, you remember yesterday's story, it said first and third year law degree lawyers who are typically writing these things for these big law firms. We don't need them anymore. AI's doing it. So even the top jobs are getting taken away. Doctors' offices, it says that AI now is being able to diagnose people faster than doctors. AI now can do surgeries across the world with a doctor on the other side with robotics. So those jobs are not safe. The first job that is safe is a skilled laborer, someone who has a specialized skilled labor. Now, that job will probably be replaced one day, but as we talk right now, it's not. the time of podcasting, the time of influencing. Remember, we can be replaced just like that. So number one, skilled labor. Number two, you have to start stockpiling things that matter. Food, water, and essentials. Barterable goods. Because when it comes down to it, again, what did the Depression teach us? What did olden times teach us? What is money? Let's go there first. Money is no more than just a means of exchange. It's a medium to make it where you need something and I have it. I need something and you have it. And we change the mode of exchange. At one point it was gold. At one point it was salt. At one point it was tulips. I mean, it could be just about anything. So you have to find those things that are valuable. Food, water, and essentials. That's very key. I have prepping lists. You can go back to some of those. So number two is you buy things that matter. Not wants, you buy needs and necessities. I always tell you buy things like, emergency medicine. Do you know how much emergency medicine and preparedness medicine would be worth? The average American, they said 75% of Americans are on some kind of pharmaceutical. That's a lot. And that's scary if all of a sudden it goes away. So having some emergency preparedness medicine is key. Number three, what else could we have? Well, you got to get out of debt. That's not what you have. It's what you have not. You've got to get out of debt because you are a slave to the lender. That's biblical. We're truly living in biblical times. We're seeing things happen that is representation of dangers with AI. So number three, you have to get out of debt. I want to read this one more thing that this guy exposed, and he's an influencer on Twitter, but he said this about what he saw with ChatGPT. There are now reports that ChatGPT is glorifying Satan and being accused of giving users intentions to mutilate themselves in certain rituals and pagan thought patterns. A journalist even asked Sam Altman about this, and it almost was like ChatGPT offered step-by-step instructions of biblical versions of sacrifice like Molech. And Sam kind of pushed it away. So we're seeing how it can influence us and impact us, and if we're not paying attention, then we're going to be completely encapsulated, our whole life completely encapsulated with something that is not biblical at all. Sarnovich said the other day, he said, if we don't have a biblical stance in AI, AI will ruin Christianity. Now, he's not saying it's going to take away from God, but he's saying it's going to take away from people's thought pattern in serving God. The persecution is real. Now, that leads me right to the next story. But before we do, a word from today's sponsor. Again, you know we've been talking about Chapter a lot. Chapter has done more for people of 65 and older, especially in my audience, than most other sponsors that we deal with. If you're on Medicare or close to it, or you're thinking about how to save money, making sure you're on the right plans, making sure this supplement's good, this supplement's bad, making sure I'm covering with this doctor, Chapter can help you. Call this number below. Chapter will come alongside you and advise you. It is absolutely free. When I say it's $0 to you, it is $0 to you. There is no loss to you. When you call them, you're going to take 15 or 20 minutes of your day, and they're going to find ways to save you money. Some people may not save much, but the average American that uses Chapter saves $1,100. I had one person that reached out to me, saved $800. I have another person that reached out to me, saved a little over $1,200. And then there was a local person that got the number to me the other day, and I can't wait to see what she says, because she says, I felt like I've been led astray by an agent. So she was calling Chapter to make sure she had the right plan. Check with Chapter today, because right now when we're talking about saving money and getting out of debt and being smart with money, well, part of being smart with money is to not spend it all and not buy things that I shouldn't buy. Well, Chapter comes alongside you and make sure you have just what you need. Check with Chapter today, especially if you're 65 and older or you're about to be. Chapter could help you save some money. And there's nothing more important than saving money, especially when you start getting a little older, you're not working as much, save some money. Check with Chapter today. Now this leads me to the next story that we were just talking about with ChatGPT and AI and how it's not got biblical basis. I want you to listen to this. Breaking: Canada fines a church $2,500 for inviting an American Christian artist to lead their worship. Now this is the guy that's been having some problems in Canada. Not that he's doing anything other than worshiping Jesus. This is: the crowd simply praised Jesus, and the church was fined. Now the church is supposed to mean you're serving Christ, right? But see, we've watered it down so much. This is where I come back on what I first said in the intro. If we don't have Christian men and strong leaders, not people who bend over to pressure, not people who just influence for the impact, not people who play in the middle in the lukewarm water. We have to have threadbare, staunch conservatism. And we have to have threadbare staunch conservative Christians. Here's why. We're seeing all these quote-unquote conservatives. We see these ones who are I mean, literally, do you realize we have influencers who are trans on the right now. We have influencers who are completely living in utter homosexuality. We have leaders in this conservative movement who are literally living against their spouse, who is breaking the marriage vows. I mean, this is like normalcy. The reason we don't have true conservative Christians that are standing up and strong men anymore is because we have the breakdown of our true family values. We need to come back to that. All these influencers that are now telling you they're conservative, I don't think they're conservative. I think the Overton window just shifted so much that the left have went so left that it's made these people that were really in the middle and they may be fiscally conservative but extremely liberal when it comes to ideologies now can seem conservative now. I don't want to hear my conservative Christian leader spout curse words every few minutes. I don't want to hear my conservative leader talk about how he embraces same gender marriages and how they believe you can change all that. That's not what true leadership is. So when you actually have people standing up for it, now you're seeing churches being fined. You are within, I bet, one more Democratic leader, one more president that's on the liberal side away from having that here in America, where the churches will either have to pay taxes. They're going to do this. They're going to say, churches are preaching hate, so now you have to pay taxes. Or you're going to have to water down your gospel. Are you ready for that? Is your church ready for that? Because that is coming. I want you to listen to two more stories. So that was in Canada. In England now, they are fining you if you try to give out tracts on the street. However, the same streets, Muslims can easily pray on the streets. They just hired, Neil Farage just said they hired a Sharia law liaison through the government so they can help make sure that for their Muslim individuals that they can honor their Sharia law and that their officers understand that. I mean, how do women even stand for that? I mean, honestly, if you're one of those liberal women, how do you stand for that? Because ultimately what they're telling you is you're going to put you in your place. Wow. Listen to this. Australia. Joel Berry, who is the Babylon Bee, shared this. An Aussie doctor, a doctor now, has been found guilty of professional misconduct. You know what he did? He shared a satirical Babylon Bee article. He shared a satirical Babylon Bee article. He has now been found guilty and could possibly lose his license in Australia because he shared a Christian satirical website. We're in that time. So if you want America to become that, keep living like we're doing and letting conservative leaders be the kind of conservative leaders we have now versus true, staunch conservative leaders that we need. We need the church standing up because now persecution is real. Now this leads me to the last story. This is from Cincinnati Police Chief. Now if you haven't been watching what happened in Cincinnati, basically you had a couple that was going to a festival, a white couple that was going to a festival and literally just got attacked by a black group of individuals. They ended up beating these people. The lady was bleeding out of her nose, out of her mouth, knocked almost unconscious. They took the boy. They filmed all this. I mean, they laughed about it, carried on. Listen to what she says. This is the police chief, a lady over the Cincinnati Police. Cincinnati Police Chief Terry Thigpen claimed that the black mob that attacked the white tourist was just a misrepresentation. Evidently, the mob was not true, and they were not doing that. It was probably a scuffle that started before. So what they're doing, they're blaming this on the white guy. They're literally saying the black mob just was defending themselves. The police chief is saying that. Does that make you feel better? Does that make you feel safer in these cities? It says, as white conservatives, this comes from a conservative influencer, a true conservative influencer. He says, if you are a white Christian man, especially, and a white Christian family, do not go to these cities. He said Philadelphia. He said New York City. He said San Francisco. He said Los Angeles. He said, no, you're going at your own risk when you enter these cities because these police chiefs and these mayor boards and these city aldermen, he said, they're not going to stand up for you. You will not be able to defend yourself. You will not be able to actually get out of the crime-ridden parts of those cities. And if all of a sudden something happens to you, you will not have the law on your side. You're just seeing right here, and this is where I get very, very careful. What did I tell you last week about when they were trying to give me a ticket for something that I didn't even do? Listen, enforcement is not bad. Police are not bad. But when they are enforcing the regulations from a very liberal ideology, they become bad. Who fined the church that we were just talking about? Who arrested the people in the tracks in Great Britain? You know who did it? The police. Now, do you blame the police? No, but I do blame people who follow orders blindly. And like this police chief, she probably works for a very liberal board in Cincinnati, and so guess what? When all of a sudden they got this footage that these black people were beating up these white couple at an event that had nothing to do with anything, just complete mob mentality. And when you hear that, you see these stories of the looting, and all of a sudden AOC and all these big boards come out and say, oh, they're just looking out for themselves. It's Trump's fault. It's the conservatives' fault for making hard times. Every one of these cities, name one city that has had a Republican leader in the last 30 or 40 years that's now living like they're living. They said Baltimore, Portland, these kind of cities, you as a white conservative should not go because your life will be in danger. This is all biblical. We're seeing we're seeing the destruction of our cities. We're seeing the destruction of work and understanding work. We're seeing the buildup of this technology that is almost satanic. And we're seeing literally the breakdown of our families. Every one of these things are biblical. And until men start being men again, Christian men start being Christian men again, and leaders start being leaders, we're going to keep going down this same hole. Please pay attention. Be the person you're supposed to be. Check this list I just told you about. The simple things. Pick up a skill. Pick up some barterable goods. Pick up some food and water. And get out of debt. 3 simple things. But that could help you rise above. Then you throw in the fact that you're homeschooling your children, you're homesteading, and you're living sustainable. You're being more independent. It's a game changer. You won't need to hold your hand out to the government because you will be okay. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. I'm passionate about it today because I want to see strong biblical manhood again. I want to see strong biblical families again. I want to see independent, sustainable families again. And it takes us knowing what's going on. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.